First, I want to say that I'm so glad that I was able to listen to Mrs. Leopold, because the people from the companies never go to the higher education conferences, and we never hear from the other side. I hope you can imagine now what the added value is if you have companies as partners in the development of students, how much caring there is and how much responsibility they take over. You can also see maybe the potential of big companies who have HR departments and very well trained professionals there, compared to a company with 20 or 50 people and maybe low tech. So they have to deal, so we have very different companies as universities. I will tell you from my side, I cannot choose the mentor in the company, so I asked myself, what can my role be? And there are a few things, and it goes beyond the mentor concept, but has relevance also for the mentoring. So the most important is, for me as a university, that at the beginning I have very high profile promoters at the university and in the company, among the companies to start. These people, especially in industry where I don't have a direct access, are so important to motivate other companies and find the right companies where the diffusion of mentoring goes down from the top management to the shop floor. Then the right person, we need the top management. The human resource department or the production managers have a big problem. They might have students right away, but if top management doesn't care, doesn't know, in the end, that will lead to problems. If you have a bachelor thesis presentation and the top manager says, who is that? We are taking part in cooperative education, never known. Or they change and something, if top management is not behind it, the production manager leaves and the student is alone. So there also should be something signed by the top management, and might it only be a contract for the student. We distinguish between mentoring and supervision. Of course, there's always mentoring in supervising. We look for having every student having one mentor at the company. The mentor cares for the total development, personal development of the student, but there are supervisors that we also deal with. Most of the time in everyday contact we deal with the supervisors who are maybe managers of one department, and they can change over the course of the studies from one work term to the other, maybe even within work terms, and they should really know the task here. They should really be able to teach the students something, and here the caring for career development is the most important skill. So if you have here some examples of integrated strategies that you can have. You already heard that. I heard that first from my American colleagues, big corporations in North America. They are not testing the student, they are testing their junior management staff. And one of the leading co-op boss of Deloitte said, our junior managers have no idea. They think they are supervising the student, evaluating the student, but it's them who are evaluated. And then the junior manager comes and says the student doesn't perform well. That means that is the black point on the manager and not on the student. So it is a career tool to test management skills. Something that is very important in the future, there will be a large cohort of experts retiring. So a success factor is pair a student with a 50, 55 to 60-year-old key knowledge holder in the company who likes to give on, and in this personal relationship is more willing to give on to the next generation, who is not a competitor. And what is very successful is to have the student as kind of a free-floating assistant if a CEO has very good and strict projects for the student to do and running around doing things that are usually left behind. A rotation through various departments in the beginning enables both potential mentors and the student to kind of pair, to find who is right for me and who do I want to work with in the future. To the skill development, of course, this is done by the companies, and I'm glad to hear how much there is done. But what we are doing, our faculty members are backup mentors for the company supervisors and mentors whenever there is a problem. So they have an outside expert who knows the student from another side, who knows what the program is about, to help also in, sometimes in personal issues. But typically, I'm so glad that people in human resources are able to talk about the personal relationship and so issues. A typical professor, 50 years old manufacturing engineer, doesn't do that. And students don't trust him, mostly a him. And interestingly, students are very well in supporting in the development of mentoring skills. We prepare the students. We also tell the students, you are responsible. Don't blame it on the company if you don't get what you want. And they're pretty well prepared in communication skills, also to be partners of their mentors in co-creation of the best experience. And what has been the most important for issues like it's too much work with the student. I have so much work with the students. Not we tell the mentors how to better organize themselves. We have these regular meetings, especially in the first year, and then they hear it from the others. One said, well, 1.5 hours and I never have the time. The next was, no problem, I have my 15-minute meetings Friday afternoon. The student has to prepare a 1-page summary of the week and has to prepare the 3 things he wants to do next week. More time we don't. So they are teaching each other, and there is a continuous improvement by creating these environments. For critical issues, for example, contract issues, within the program we have our key industrial liaisons. So I know exactly which human resource department manager has the most experience, and if there is a company not knowing exactly, I say, call Mrs. Peracha at EPCOS, for example. She knows. And so we have our partners there. Again, joint supervision of thesis is the best way of also developing mentoring skills. And something we do, we have a summer business school, so that we don't offer training for mentors yet, but we have a summer business school that is a soft skill management school in the summer, and we offer a refund for people from companies that are participating. And of course, we could also offer this. I want to finish with a comment to the graduates. It's so clear for me that I didn't put it on. So there is a rule that I heard in the United States: leave the graduates alone for 3 years. Afterwards, they will be your best promoters in any way. That is fairly true. And we have, I don't know, 20, 30 graduates mentoring students in companies and also sharing the experience with it. And we have a graduate alumni student club who is the single most, maybe the single most successful initiative at the university that offers their own mentoring services, not only to students, but also to companies who are not so sure how to work with students.